Game of the day here at the 2019 16U Girls Invitational Championships for Baseball Canada. My name is Michael Petter. Thank you so much for tuning in here on 360 Live. And we have a semifinal in the consolation bracket. Basically the way this works, the winner of this game will play in the game for 7th and 8th place tomorrow. The team that loses this game will be playing in the game for 9th and 10th. And we've got Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador are the two teams to be featured in this game. But before we get into too much about those two teams, there's one other team to talk about. That's the team of Men in Black, who are standing at home plate right now. The home plate umpire for this game will be Alex Marriott, the first base umpire Matt Henneberry, and third base umpire Liam Johnston. So those are your officials for this game. And again, Saskatchewan is the home team in this game by virtue of the fact that they finished third in Pool B with a record of 1-2. Their Pool B schedule looked like this. They started off with a victory over Manitoba by a score of 9-2. They then dropped their last two games in the pool portion of the tournament, falling to Quebec 2 by a score of 13-6, then British Columbia by a score of 7-0. For Newfoundland, they finished second in Pool C with a record of 2-1, and then they had to play a quarterfinal for the 7th to 12th place bracket to get into this game. That happened earlier today right here on this field. So looking at how they got here, they lost their first game back on Thursday morning against Nova Scotia 2 by a score of 9-1. And have put together 3 wins in a row since then, beating Prince Edward Island 20-0 on Thursday afternoon, beating New Brunswick 9-2 on Friday afternoon, and then another game against Prince Edward Island this morning. Again, that was the quarterfinal game for the consolation bracket, winning that one by a score of 14-7. So the winner of this game, again, goes to the 7th and 8th place game tomorrow. The loser of this game will play for 9th and 10th spot against the winner and loser of the other game. The two winners will play for 7 and 8. The two losers will play for 9 and 10. And the other game that's going on right now over on the other field is Manitoba taking on the team from Ontario. And we'll keep you up to date on what's going on throughout that game as it goes on. But right now, we have to get ready for this one, and it's going to be Newfoundland and Labrador as the visiting team leading off. So let's take you through their batting order. Megan Bennett, the left fielder, will bat first. Shortstop Hannah Legg will bat second. Extra hitter Mackenzie Byrne in the third spot. Pitcher and cleanup hitter Jada Lee. Batting fifth, Claire Dwyer, the third baseman. Batting in the sixth spot is second baseman Maddie Healy. Batting seventh, playing first base, Holly Russell. Batting eighth and catching Madison Lockyer. Batting ninth, playing right field, will be Brianna Saunders. And batting 10th, playing center field, will be Katie Penny. Taking a look at Saskatchewan's defense to get the game started. Jocelyn Arthur in left field. Kira Comfort in her usual spot in center. And Callie Hebert in right. Around the infield from third to first, Mackenzie Fredland playing third. Clara Plain at short. Second base will be Jacene Wilms, and first base, Lauren Owens. Behind the plate, it'll be Claudia Lammers catching. For the pitcher today, Amy Johnson. And Johnson getting her second appearance on the mound as she delivers the first pitch right on time, exactly 6:30 p.m. And the first pitch to Bennett misses. Johnson threw 1 1/3 innings in her previous appearance. 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. So an ERA of dead on 0 and a whip of 2.25 for Johnson through that first appearance of the tournament. She comes up here with the count 1-1 to Megan Bennett. Bennett takes high and the count goes to 2-1. And for Bennett so far on the tournament, we can tell you that she is hitting .125, 1 for 8. There's a strike. The count goes to 3-2. She's hitting .125, but the on-base percentage all the way up to .364, as she's been able to earn walks 3 times, 2 RBI and 4 runs scored so far in the tournament. Swings through that one and goes down swinging for the first out of the game. That'll bring up Hannah Legg. Legg on the tournament so far, batting .222, 2 for 9. The on-base percentage goes up to .417 when you take into account she was hit by a pitch once and walked twice. Legg with 2 RBI and 5 runs scored so far. Swings and misses at the first pitch offered from Johnson rather, and the count goes to 0-1. Looks like we got some sunshine for at least a little bit here this evening. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2. We've had quite a bit of cloud cover through the area today. A couple of spots where we had rain last about 4 or 5 minutes. Nothing too serious. Swing and a miss, and it's back-to-back Ks for Johnson. And that'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. Byrne so far on the tournament, hitting .500 as she's 5 for 10. Add in a walk, and she's got an on-base percentage of .545. 5 hits, 5 RBI, 5 runs. 5 the magic number for Byrne as she fouls that one off. And the count goes to 0-1. Johnson off to a very smooth start here on the mound for Team Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, as you would expect, wearing their green with the white numbers, the yellow trim. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2. Newfoundland in their traditional maroon with the silver or gray numbers and the gray and the black outline of those numbers, the gray pants to go with it. Swung on and miss, and it's a very quick first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We played half an inning, and Newfoundland, Labrador, and Saskatchewan still looking for the first run of the game. Saskatchewan coming to bat here in the bottom of the inning. They are the home team, as mentioned. Let's take you through their batting order now. Jocelyn Arthur will hit first. She'll be playing left field. Kira Comfort, the center fielder, will bat second. Caitlin Tarasoff, the extra hitter, bats third. Clara Plain, the shortstop, batting fourth. Third baseman Mackenzie Friendland bats fifth. Right fielder Callie Hebert in the sixth spot. Catcher Claudia Lammers batting seventh. And then the 8, 9, and 10 batters, Jacene Wilms at second base, Lauren Owens at first, and Amy Johnson, the starting pitcher. Taking a look at the defense for Newfoundland and Labrador. The outfield, Megan Bennett in left, Katie Penny in center, Brianna Saunders in right. Around the infield, Claire Dwyer will be operating third base, while Hannah Legg is at her usual spot at shortstop. Maddie Healy over at second, while first base will be Holly Russell. Behind the plate, you've got Madison Lockyer receiving the pitches from Jada Lee, who is getting the start on the mound for Newfoundland and Labrador in this one. And for Lee, this will be her second appearance. She pitched earlier in the tournament and earned the victory, going 2 1/3 innings, giving up no runs, no hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts in those 2 1/3 innings. And the first batter that she will face from Team Saskatchewan, Jocelyn Arthur. As mentioned, Arthur, so far on the tournament, is still looking for her first hit. She's 0 for 3 so far. And we'll get to that in just a moment as the sunshine hanging on for now, but we still have that cool wind blowing. It's been blowing all day. In fact, in the last game that we had on this field between BC and Quebec a little earlier this afternoon, 3 home runs by Team British Columbia as they were able to take advantage of some heavy wind blowing out to right and right center. One of the home runs did go out to left. The wind kind of blowing across that one. But the wind doing a good job helping out the batters here tonight. It's still blowing out to right field. maybe a little bit more from left to right as opposed to straightaway right. That'll bring up Jocelyn Arthur as we're ready for the bottom of the first inning, and the first pitch catches right at the knees, and the count goes to 0-1. We saw in the quarterfinal for Newfoundland and Labrador this morning, coaching staff basically holding everybody to 35 pitches so they'd have as much option available to them tomorrow. That one fouled off, and the count goes to 0-2. Newfoundland have this game today, and they will be playing one game tomorrow, as will all of the teams here at the tournament. That one lined out to left field. It'll drop in for a single. And so Jocelyn Arthur leads off with her first hit of the tournament, and that'll bring up Kira Comfort. Comfort hitting .250 on the weekend, 3 for 12. On base percentage drops slightly as she also has a sacrifice, which doesn't affect the batting average but does affect the on base percentage. 3 RBI and 3 runs scored for the Saskatchewan center fielder. Batting in the number 2 spot in the order here. First pitch to Comfort misses low, and the count goes to 1-0. So Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador could still finish anywhere between 7th and 10th. And that will have a bit of an impact on next year as well. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1. As the team that wins this game will either finish 7th or 8th and will be in Pool B next year. The team that loses this game will be in Pool C by virtue of a finish of either 9th or 10th. And as British Columbia showed this morning and this afternoon, coming out of Pool B makes your path a little bit easier to try and get up to the championship game, and that is what BC has done. They will be playing for the gold medal tomorrow against Alberta. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Comfort. That'll bring up Caitlin Tarasoff. Tarasoff so far on the tournament hitting .556, 5 for 9. You throw in 2 walks and a hit by pitch, and her on-base percentage goes all the way up to .667. 1 RBI and 3 runs scored so far on the weekend. But before we get to Tarasoff's at-bat, we get a throw over to first, and Arthur able to get back in safely. The way this tournament is formatted, 12 teams, 3 pools. The top 4 finishers from the previous year are in Pool A. The middle 4 finishers from the previous year go to Pool B, and the bottom 4 finishers from the previous year go to Pool C. And then the top 3 teams from Pool A get into the playoff bracket, while the bottom team goes to the consolation bracket. In Pool B, it's split 2 and 2. In Pool C, just the pool winner gets to go to the playoff bracket, while the other 3 teams are in the consolation bracket. Saskatchewan coming out of Pool B, and they'll be either in B or C again next year. And Newfoundland Labrador came out of Pool C. They'll either be in B or C again next year, again depending on the outcome of this game. There's a strike to Tarasoff. The count now 1-2, as Arthur now stands at second base after she had a steal. And the game of musical glasses continues as the sun goes back behind cloud cover. The 1-2 pitch, that misses, and the count 2-2. And again, the winner of this game will play the winner of the game that just got going over on the other diamond. That's Manitoba and Ontario. Manitoba put up 2 runs in the top of the first. Ontario now batting in the bottom of the first inning. There's a swing and a miss, and we've now had 5 strikeouts by the 2 pitchers combined. That'll bring up Clara Plain. Plain on the weekend so far is still looking for her first hit. She's 0 for 11, but she has gotten on base by walking twice. Takes that one inside, and the count goes to 1-0. Plain has hit the ball hard. She does have 1 RBI so far. She's hit the ball hard. She's done all kinds of things correctly in that regard. It's just she hasn't been able to buy a break when it comes to where those hard-hit balls have gone. They've been right at players or had bounces just not go her way, or if she does hit a ball hard down the line, it ends up curling just foul. Just that sort of a tournament so far for playing at the plate. She's done a great job on the mound and defensively at shortstop. Swings and misses there, and the count goes to 1-2. As both of our starting pitchers, both Johnson and Lee. And there's a called third strike, and that will do it. Johnson strikes out the side. I thought that was strike 3. I stand corrected. It's apparently 2-2. That one misses, and the count now 3-2. Our broadcast position way off down the first base line. Sometimes it's hard to read the umpire's body language. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and there's strike 3. So Amy Johnson strikes out the side. So Jada Lee says, you know what, I can do that too. No runs, no hit. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, and 1 runner left on base. We've played 1 complete inning, and no score between Newfoundland and Labrador and Saskatchewan. Due up for Newfoundland and Labrador in the top of the second inning. It will be their pitcher, Lee, along with Dwyer and Healy, and if anyone gets on, then it will be Russell. As mentioned, the winner of this game will play the winner of Manitoba and Ontario for 7th spot, while the loser of this game will play the loser of Manitoba, Ontario in the game for 9th. The 9th place game will be on this field tomorrow morning, or tomorrow, well, starting in the morning, but it'll go into the afternoon. It's an 11:30 scheduled start here for that 9th place game. The 7th place game, meanwhile, will start at noon on Robert Lenahan Field. And again, just like all of the games we've had for you so far here at this tournament, they will all be available on 360.live. And we really do appreciate having you with us here on 360 Live for all of these games throughout this tournament. And you can also make this broadcast interactive. Go to my Facebook page, Petter Pictou Sports, P-E-T-T-E-R, Pictou, P-I-C-T-O-U, Sports. Search that on Facebook or on Twitter. Send me a tweet or send me a Facebook message, and we'll get that included in the broadcast. If it's a question, I'll try and answer it. If it's a comment, I'll try and respond to that too. As Lee steps in for her first at-bat of this game. Pops that one up and out of play over the backstop. Lee on the tournament so far hitting .545, 6 for 11. She was hit by a pitch twice. That brings her on-base percentage all the way up to .615 so far here in this tournament. She's got 9 RBI and 6 runs scored. Lee has been producing at the plate in a big way for Team Newfoundland and Labrador so far here at this tournament. And she's ahead in the count right now, 2-1. As the right-hander Johnson delivers. That one sent out to deep right center field. And there we see, with that wind blowing out, Jada Lee gets the home run. Her second home run of the tournament. Her 10th RBI. And Newfoundland and Labrador ahead here in the top of the second inning with the solo shot from Lee. It's now 1-0. That'll bring up Claire Dwyer. And Dwyer on the tournament batting .286, 2 for 7. You throw in 3 walks, and she's got an on-base percentage of .500. 2 runs batted in, 5 runs scored. 10 RBI now, though, on the tournament for Jada Lee, leading the way, as she has been, again, just absolutely dynamite. There's a line shot right at the second baseman. Positioned perfectly was Wilms, as she barely had to move maybe half a step over to her left to make that catch. That'll bring up Maddie Healy. Healy 1 for 7 on the tournament so far, 143 batting average. Also reached on a hit by pitch and a walk, so that brings her on base percentage up to .333. Takes a strike there. The count goes to 0-1. 2 RBI and a run scored for Healy so far on the tournament. Swings and misses there, and the count goes to 0-2. Healy, the second baseman for Newfoundland Labrador in today's game, pulls the 0-2 pitch foul, and she'll get another shot at it. As Johnson gets herself set to throw another 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts for Johnson. And that'll bring up Holly Russell with 2 away. The first baseman for Newfoundland and Labrador steps in with a .500 batting average, going 3 for 6. She's walked 3 times, which means her on-base percentage is up to .667. 6 runs batted in and 1 run scored, and swings through a first pitch strike, 0-1 the count. These Newfoundland numbers look a little bit gaudy as far as the number of RBIs go and whatnot for a few players. They've scored 44 runs in the 4 games that they've played. That one misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Correction, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Popped up high in the air, but it will head foul off the other side of the entryway into the facility here. And now Johnson will get herself set for the 2-2 pitch. Another one fouled off, and it'll remain 2-2. Madison Lockyer, the catcher for Newfoundland Labrador, in the on-deck circle. Called third strike, and 5 Ks for Johnson through 2 innings. However, here in the second, she gave up 1 big hit. It was Jada Lee, the leadoff solo home run. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played an inning and a half, and Newfoundland and Labrador lead it 1-0, courtesy of that Lee home run. Due up for Saskatchewan in the bottom of the second, it'll be third baseman Mackenzie Fredland, right fielder Callie Hebert, and catcher Claudia Lammers. As the wind here picking up again. And okay. As we get ready for the bottom of the second inning. And the wind wreaking havoc on my binder here. I try to have it open to a certain page, and no way, no how it's going to stay that way. Fredland due up here in the bottom of the second. She'll come in with a batting average of .273, going 3 for 11 so far, 2 RBI. And so Fredland steps in. And takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count as Lee gets the ball and quickly right back at it, delivering again. That one fouled off, and the count goes to 0-2. And that one, I think, went off the tonneau cover of a truck over there. That one misses low, and the count now 1-2. Both of these pitchers very much no nonsense. Get the ball, get it back into the catcher's glove, and then get it right back again. 2-2 now the count after Fredland's pitch from Lee misses down and outside. Here comes the 2-2. Grounded foul. And it'll remain 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter for Saskatchewan here in inning number 2. The pitch misses high, ball 3, 3-2. Newfoundland with the 1-0 lead after the home run. And there's a called third strike. 4 Ks for Lee. So not only has Lee struck out 4 batters, she's also hit a home run so far in this game. That'll bring up Callie Hebert. Hebert hitting .200 on the tournament, 1 for 5. She's reached base twice by way of walk, bringing her on-base percentage up to .429. Swings through the first pitch there, and the count 0-1. Hebert has also been able to score 3 times. You look at Saskatchewan's run production, only 15 runs scored in their 3 games. That one fouled off into the trees. And the count 0-2. Included in that, as we mentioned in the opening, was a shutout loss. They've scored 9 of their runs in the 9-2 win over Manitoba. And there's a called third strike on Hebert. 5 Ks in a row now for Lee, and that'll bring up Claudia Lammers. Lammers 1 for 7 on the tournament. Couple of walks brings her on base percentage up to .333. 1 run scored for Lammers as well. Takes a strike. And the count 0-1. That one grounded up the middle, gathered up by the shortstop, leg across and in time for the third out. Nice throw, nice play by Leg there. So a quick 1-2-3 inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We played 2 complete, and Newfoundland and Labrador lead Saskatchewan 1-0. And due up in the bottom of the third, it's Lockyer, Saunders, and Penny for Newfoundland and Labrador, top of the third, that is. And I think both of these teams realizing that at 8 o'clock tonight, there's a certain football team from a certain province who will be playing a game. And I think the girls in green and white want to go support their guys in green and white. Watching them on TV, and they want to get there in a hurry as this game is moving at a rapid pace. And, of course, that team in green and white wear the great big S on their helmets. I'm talking, of course, about my team. Rider Pride all the way. Not ashamed to admit that I'm a Riders fan. I spent about 5 years living in Saskatchewan during my childhood, and as anybody knows, once you've lived in Saskatchewan for 5 minutes, it's genetically imprinted on you. You become a Rider fan for life. So such is the way that it works. And Lockyer will be the leadoff hitter for Newfoundland Labrador. Lockyer coming in, she has a 167 batting average, 286 on base percentage, 1 for 6 with hits with a walk, 4 RBI though. A lot of her plate appearances have been productive one way or the other. She's also scored 1 run. As we get ready for the top of the third. As Lockyer steps in and the righty Johnson gets herself set and ready to go. Here comes the pitch. Just misses low. Ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. Also just missing below the knee, and the count goes to 2-0. Two balls, no strikes here to the first batter in the top of the third inning. That one also just missing, and it's 3-0. Johnson very close to the strike zone with all 3 of those pitches. There's one down the middle. And it's now 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. And a grounder to the second baseman, gathered up. Easy flip to first for the first out of the inning. As Wilms has her second defensive touch. That'll bring up Brianna Saunders. Saunders so far on the week looking for her first hit. She's 0 for 5. Reached once on a walk. So the on-base percentage, 167. Takes a strike there. But one of those 0 for 5 was a reach on an error, so she's been on base twice. That doesn't help the on-base percentage, but it does get her on base, and she came around to score both times she's been on, the walk and the reach on an error. So 2 runs scored. And Saunders sends that out to left field. Coming in to make the catch is Arthur for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Katie Penny. Penny looking for her first hit of the tournament. She's 0 for 4. Penny, one of the younger players in this Newfoundland Labrador lineup. Actually, no, she isn't. I'm sorry. One of the older players in this Newfoundland Labrador lineup. Gets a hold of that one out to right field, and coming over to make the catch is Hebert. And it's another quick 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We've played 2.5, and it's still 1-0 for Newfoundland and Labrador. And meanwhile, that game on the other diamond, they're still in the bottom of the second. We're heading to the bottom of the third. Manitoba still leading it over Ontario 2-0 in that one. Due up for Saskatchewan in the bottom of the third. It's the 8, 9, and 10 hitters, Wilms, Owen, and Johnson. And if anyone gets on, then we head back to the top of the order. And you look at these two pitchers, so far they've combined for 10 strikeouts through the first 2.5 innings. 15 outs, 10 of them by way of the K for these two pitchers. They are both lighting it up here in the early going of this one. As we get ready for that bottom of inning number 3. A reminder that tomorrow we will have the placement games. There will be 6 games tomorrow, 2 on this field at 8:30 and 11:30, and that'll be the 11-12 game and the 9-10 place game. And then over on Robert Lenahan, it'll be the games for 7th and 8th, 5th and 6th, and then the bronze medal at 3 o'clock, the gold medal game between BC and Alberta tomorrow night at 6 o'clock to wrap up what has been a fantastic weekend of very entertaining baseball here in Bedford. Swing and a miss, and Wilms behind in the count 0-1. Jacene Wilms 3 for 3 so far, 1 for 3 overall. .333 batting average with the 1 for 3. .500 on base percentage when you include a walk. No runs or RBIs. And again, as mentioned, Saskatchewan just 15 runs scored in their 3 games. That one popped up and out of play. And that'll make it 0-2 on Wilms. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Wilms thought about going, but held up. And so the count goes to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch misses low, and the count goes to 2-2. And it looks like this game will be Lee's for the taking as she's past 35 pitches. There's a shot out to left field. It lands foul. And Wilms had the head down and was running almost all the way to second base before she realized the umpire was yelling foul. A hard hit ball, but just hooking foul on Wilms. So the count will remain 2-2, and she has to come back and try and do it all over again. Takes a called third strike. 6K now for Lee. And that'll bring up Lauren Owens. Owens on the tournament 1 for 9. She also has a walk. Reached on errors twice. Pops this one up in foul territory, and the catch made for the second out of the inning as Claire Dwyer was able to get underneath it and make the catch. That'll bring up Amy Johnson. Johnson 2 for 6 with a single and a double. She's driven in a run, scored 4 times. She's also reached base twice by getting hit by pitches and twice by walking. So a .333 batting average and a .600 on base percentage, and takes the first pitch down and in, ball 1. Scored 4 of the 15 runs for Saskatchewan so far. Leading the team, Comfort and Hebert and Tarasov with 3 runs each. That one misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-0. As we play musical glasses again, the sunglasses need to come back on. The question being, for how long this time? And there's a called strike, and the count goes to 2-1. There's a hard shot out to right center, and that ball is gone. And Amy Johnson says, hey, the other pitcher hit a home run on me. I'll hit a home run on her. And we've got a 1-1 ball game as the two pitchers, Lee and Johnson, have hit home runs. And we swing back around to the top of the order to Jocelyn Arthur. She's 1 for 1. She had a single to lead off the game for Saskatchewan. Arthur from Saskatoon. Takes the first pitch strike. And the count goes to 0-1. Another strike on the outside corner, and it's now 0-2. So both pitchers have given up home runs, and both pitchers, after they gave up a home run, have come right back and gotten a strikeout. That's strikeout number 7 for Lee. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 3 complete. And it's Lee 1, Johnson 1. And it's Lee 7, Johnson 5 in the strikeout battle. But you get the feeling that these two ladies have decided that they are going to have the biggest impact on this game. That's certainly been the case through the first 3 innings. For Newfoundland and Labrador in the top of the 4th, it'll be the top of the order, Bennett, Legg, and Byrne. And if anyone gets on, then Lee will come up to bat. And as we've played 3 of the 7 or possibly more innings, I think it's safe to say at this point, barring something major happening, I know who the players of the game would be if I had to pick them at this point in the game. Meanwhile, over on the Robert Lenahan field, they're into the top of the 3rd there. 2-2 the score between Manitoba and Ontario. As that breeze has quite a chill to it, blowing, like I say, blowing out to right center. And the 2 home runs that we had right out in that direction. As Megan Bennett comes up, she is one of the 5 strikeout victims for Johnson so far. First pitch just misses, and the count goes to 0-1. Bennett from St. John's. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, 1 strike on Bennett. Grounder right back to Johnson. Over to Owens in time, and there's 1 away. That'll bring up Hannah Legg. Legg from Cowhead. Newfoundland, Labrador, the only province I've never actually been to. I've lived in 5 of our 10 provinces. I've visited 9 of 10. So if anyone from Newfoundland to Labrador is listening and anyone over there is organizing a tournament, if you guys want some play-by-play, hey, give me a call. Send me a message. I'll come on over. Never been there. I'd love to do it. That one fouled off, and the count 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to leg. Another one fouled off, and it's 1-2. That one just misses a truck. And the 1-2. Called strike 3, and Johnson gets her 6th K of the evening, and that'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. Byrne, one of those 6 strikeout victims so far. Byrne from Mount Pearl. Swing and a miss there, and the count goes to 0-1. Biggest thing I know about Mount Pearl from following junior hockey, it's the home of the Blades in the Junior B League up there. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That misses just down and outside, trying to see if she can get Byrne to chase. But Byrne holds off, and the count goes to 1-2. Grounder right back to Johnson. Flip to Owens. And another quick 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Through 3.5. We've played half of the 7. And we're tied 1-1. Due up in the bottom of the 4th, it's Kira Comfort, Caitlin Tarasoff, and Clara Plain. Anyone gets on, it'll be Mackenzie Fredland. As we are flying through this one. Meanwhile, next door, Manitoba and Ontario, they're tied at 2. Again, the winner of this game plays the winner of that game for 7th place in the tournament tomorrow. The loser of this game plays the loser of that game for 9th place, also tomorrow. And the 9th place game I will have over on this field at 11:30. The 7th place game will be on the other field at noon. And then the bronze and gold medal games will be on the Robert Lenahan field. There won't be anything going on this field at that time, so I'm going to go join our other broadcaster for that one, and we'll bring things home with a 2-man crew the rest of the way. So Kira Comfort will lead things off here. Comfort from Nipawin, 17 years old. And yes, it's a 16U tournament, but it depends on where in the year your birth date falls, and so Comfort has turned 17 this year. There's a bunt that ends up rolling just foul. Comfort trying to bunt her way on base, but just a little bit too much side spin on that one. Ends up having it roll foul outside the third base line. A well-placed bunt by Comfort, but not quite able to keep it inside the line. So the lefty has to go back and try again. She's down in the count now 0-1. Manitoba's retaken the lead. It's 3-2 in the top of the third. Swing and a foul tip there, and the count goes to 0-1. And certainly the conditions here right now may be playing a little bit of a part in how our pitchers are being so successful. I don't want to take anything away from those pitchers, but as you can see, the shadows are having probably a little bit of an impact on our hitters and their ability to see the ball coming in. 1-2 now the count on Comfort after that one misses high. That one fouled off, and the count remains 1-2. Another attempt to lay down a bunt, and it ends up, that ball ended up hitting Comfort. And so she'll come down to first base after being hit by the pitch. That'll bring up Tarasov. Tarasov struck out her first time up from North Battleford. Comes up with one on, nobody out. Runner going with the first pitch. Called a strike and the throw not in time. So Comfort gets the steal. Tarasov takes a strike and it's 0-1. Tarasov, another left-handed hitter to face the right-hander Lee here in the bottom of the fourth, excuse me. That one misses low, gets past the catcher, and that will allow Comfort to get in to third base as Lockyer couldn't nail that one down. So a runner on third with nobody out here. Saskatchewan with a chance to take the lead, and the count on Tarasov 1-1. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. As Lee gets herself set and delivers. The 1-2 misses just a bit high, and the count goes to 2-2. Tarasov, the lefty, standing in. Takes strike 3 as that one catches the top of the zone for the 8th strikeout of the game for Lee. And that'll bring up Clara Plain. Plain 0 for 1 from Saskatoon. Comes up with a runner on third and now one out. And Lee trying to shut down this chance for Saskatchewan. That one will drop in for a single in front of the center fielder. And that will score a run. Clara Plain with the RBI single. Makes it 2-1 for Saskatchewan. And that'll bring up Mackenzie Fredland. Fredland, another Saskatoon-based player. With a runner on first and one away. And Saskatchewan now playing with a 2-1 lead. Runner going. Fredland fouls that one off. And the count goes to 0-1. Good cut there by Fredland. Just getting a piece of the ball, though. That pitch misses high, and the count goes to 1-1. You look at this Saskatoon lineup, and you look at Ziebert and Wilms and Metzger and Lammers. All 14 or 15 years old. So those are all players who will be able to come back for future editions of this event. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. And so there's a lot to be looking forward to from a Saskatchewan perspective. When you look at this roster, throw over to first, and the ball ends up rolling away from Russell. Plain may have been back in safely anyway, but it would have been a very, very close play there at first base if Russell had been able to squeeze that ball. Runner going. Pitch misses the zone. Plain gets in without a throw. And the count now 2-2 on Fredland. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Called third strike. 9th K of the evening for Lee. as she has been mowing down batters left and right. That'll bring up Hebert. Hebert, another Saskatoon-based player. 7 of the 12 players in the Saskatchewan lineup list Saskatoon as their hometown. Makes it a little easier for the team to schedule practices and get games set up and whatnot when so many of the players are centrally located. There's a grounder right at the first baseman, Russell. Russell wins the race to the bag, and that will do it for the bottom of the 4th inning, but Saskatchewan does get 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and 1 runner left on base. We've played 4 complete, and Saskatchewan now with the lead, 2-1, coming up in the top of the 5th for Newfoundland and Labrador. It'll be the home run hitter, Jada Lee, followed by Claire Dwyer and Maddie Healy. Just to finish that thought on the Saskatchewan lineup and how centrally located they are, the 7 players from Saskatoon, then the others Nipawin, North Battleford, Outlook, and 2 from Moosomin. So not all that far afield for a bit of a perspective. Where I lived in Saskatchewan, when I did live in Saskatchewan growing up, it was way far away from Saskatoon. In fact, I was up north of Lake Athabasca. Little place doesn't even exist anymore, called Uranium City. And if you wanted to get out during the summer, you had to fly out. There's no road into Uranium City. If you wanted to get out by road, you had to wait till Lake Athabasca froze and take the lake. So by comparison, these 12 players, all practically next-door neighbors. Here comes Jada Lee. As mentioned, she hit a solo home run her first time up. She led off the 2nd inning with that bomb. Lee from St. John's, listed as just 13 years old. She's thrown 9 strikeouts in this game and hit a solo home run at the age of just 13 against a pitcher in Johnson who is 16 years old. She was able to hit a home run against that 16-year-old pitcher. Now takes another strike, and the count goes to 0-2. And she's been able to get strikeouts of 16-year-old hitters, as well as a couple 15s and 14s. But still, at the age of 13, this Lee is a player to watch for the future. Lots to be impressed with here. That pitch misses high, and the count goes to 1-2. Time is called. And I see the umpire asking the Saskatchewan coach to get back into his dugout, but the coach saying, I need to be able to see the pitch count clock. As Johnson is at, 63 pitches now, I believe it says. That one fouled off. And the count remains 1-2. And that's the one thing these Newfoundland batters have done is, yes, Johnson has been pitching very effectively, but they've made her use a lot of pitches to do that. There's a swing and a miss. The ball is in the dirt, so they'll have to throw down to first to finish the out, and they do. So Lee strikes out. That's the 7th strikeout by Johnson, and that'll bring up Claire Dwyer. Dwyer from Grand Falls, Windsor. Takes one low, ball 1. Grand Falls, Windsor, the one thing I always hear about that community, a hotbed of senior hockey. That misses low in the count, 2-0. Of course, all of Newfoundland very passionate about their senior hockey. There's a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Two balls, one strike on Dwyer. She lined out to second her first time up. There's a strike, and the count now 2-2. Manitoba opening up a bit more of a lead on Ontario. It's now 5-2. That one misses in the dirt. And the count runs full here on Dwyer. There's a grounder. Knocked down by the second baseman. Throw across in time. What a play by Wilms at second base to get the second out of the inning. Beautiful play there. And that'll bring up Maddie Healy. She struck out her first time up. Healy, another St. John's-based player. And here comes the next pitch. That one popped up left side. Over to get it is the shortstop playing for the third out. So another 1-2-3 inning for Johnson. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We've played 5 complete, we've played 4.5 rather, and Saskatchewan leading it 2-1. Due up in the bottom of the 5th, it'll be Lammers, Wilms, and Owens. And if anyone gets on, then Johnson. As we have ourselves a great pitching duel here in this one. And again, both of our pitchers also responsible for a significant chunk of the offense, as the only run for Saskatchewan, a solo home run by their pitcher, Lee, and one of the 2 runs, or the only run for Newfoundland, rather, by their pitcher, Lee. The one of the 2 runs for Saskatchewan, a solo home run by their pitcher, Johnson, as this one of those games where, and again, I love what the pitch count rule stands for. I love that we are protecting our young players' arms. But this is one of those games where you'd love to just let these 2 pitchers go as long as they can keep going, because these 2 have been giving us such a dynamite performance in this game. You'd hate to see it come to an end. So Lammers will lead off here in the top or the bottom of the 5th. Lammers 0 for 1. She grounded out. Lammers from Outlook, Saskatchewan. Here comes the pitch. Hard shot out to left field. That'll get past the left fielder, Bennett. And Lammers, she's on her horse. She's going to keep going. No, she's going to stop at second. Wise decision probably to stop there, as a great play by Bennett to get that ball back in a hurry. But a leadoff double for Lammers. That'll bring up Wilms with 1 out, or with nobody out and 1 on. And Wilms, one of the 2 players from Moosomin in this Saskatchewan lineup. Wilms struck out her first time up. One of the 9 strikeout victims for Lee so far on the game, and Wilms swings through that one, gets a foul tip, getting just a piece of it, and the count goes to 0-1. As almost the entire area between home plate and the pitcher's mound now in shadow. The pitcher herself still in a little bit of sunlight, as the shadow from our tent almost reaching there now. Throw over to second. It ends up going through to center field. Then it gets past the center fielder as it gets through the legs of Penny. And that will allow Lammers to head down to third. As time is called, Lammers needs to get some of the dirt out of her shoe. Quickly gets the shoe popped back on, and she'll be ready to go again. Now we're ready as Wilm steps back in, down in the count 0-1, but now with a potential run standing at third base. Swing and a miss there as Lee just overpowers Wilms with that pitch, which again leads me to reiterate that Jada Lee is just 13 years old. There's a swing and a miss, and strikeout number 10 for Lee. That'll bring up Lauren Owens. She popped out to third her first time up. Owens, another one of those Saskatoon-based players. Runner on third, one away. Infield coming in for Newfoundland Labrador to try and cut down a run at the plate if the ball's hit on the ground. The pitch misses just high. And we have a count of 2-0. The pitch from Lee, that also misses high. 3-0. And Manitoba still batting in the top of the third, now leading at 7-2. They've put up 5 runs so far in the top of the third inning. That one misses low, ball 4. The ball gets away, and not able to find it was Lockyer. And while Lockyer was frantically searching for the ball, Lammers takes advantage, comes in to score. It's now 3-1. And that'll bring up Amy Johnson. Johnson with the solo home run, her first time up back in the third. Comes up here with a chance to help her own cause. But before that happens, Russell comes over with a quick word for Johnson. Or for Lee, rather. And now here's the first pitch to Johnson. Catches the inside corner, 0-1. Long look in for Lee. Now she delivers. That one misses, and the count goes to 1-1. And another gust of wind comes in and completely messes up my binder. Thankfully, all the papers are staying in and just trying to keep it open to a certain page. Not likely. Swing and a miss there by Johnson. The count goes to 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. That misses just high. 2-2. Lockyer trying to frame that pitch for her pitcher, but not quite able to do so. So the 2-2 count now on Johnson, with Owens still at first base. There's a called third strike. Strikeout number 11 for Jada Lee. 2 away, brings us back around to the top of the order for Arthur. Arthur 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. As we play here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Saskatchewan leading it by 2. That one misses low, gets past Lockyer, and Owens will head down to second. Lee gets herself set. That one fouled off, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, one strike, one on, two out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2. It's hard to keep coming up with new and interesting words to keep describing how impressed I am with this pitching performance as Lee strikes out the side. In between, she gives up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We've played 5. Saskatchewan now leading it 3-1, but you still have to tip your hat to the Newfoundland Labrador pitcher, Jada Lee. Not sure what that conversation's about, but the Newfoundland Labrador coach bringing Lockyer over to talk to the umpire about something. I think it was just a teaching moment to... Well, there was 1 error apparently recorded in there somewhere, according to our scorekeeper. Oh, the throw to second, which did allow the run to score. Right. So Lee now has thrown 81 pitches through her 5 innings. So that means she's got 14 left to work with. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Johnson has only thrown 52 pitches, which means she's still got 43 pitches to work, or no, that's 62. So she's still got 33 pitches to work with here and only 2 more innings to try and get through. As Amy Johnson, just as many superlatives as you want to use for Lee. Johnson, 7 strikeouts, and she's faced 1 batter over the minimum. The only player to reach base was Jada Lee, who hit the solo home run to lead off inning number 2. Other than that, if you take Lee's home run out of the equation, it's 15 up, 15 down through the 5 innings. So here comes Holly Russell to bat as the lefty steps in. She's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And Russell fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. As Johnson delivers. There's a curveball on the corner, and the count 0-2. As again, you just can't help but sit there in awe of both of these pitchers. That one just misses, trying to get Russell to chase one just barely out of the zone. But she does not chase, so the count 1-2. Now that one launched, and it will get out with another solo home run. 2 hits for Newfoundland, both of them solo shots out to center field. And it's now 3-2 for Saskatchewan as Holly Russell gets her first home run of the tournament, her 7th run batted in. and her second run scored. And that'll bring up Madison Lockyer. Or we're going to have a pinch hitter for Lockyer here, as Hope Bishop Frizzell will step in to pinch hit. As we just get confirmation on the pitch count for Johnson, showing 66, which means she'd have 29 more pitches left and would have the rest of that batter once she hits 95. And it looks like Newfoundland Labrador ready to bring in their subs, as Bishop Frizzell is pinch hitting, and a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for Saunders in the form of Julia Chipman. And if past games are any indication, Bishop Frizzell will take over behind the plate for Lockyer after batting for Lockyer, as Newfoundland Labrador tends to keep batting spots in the same defensive position. There's a grounder to third, and Bishop Frizzell hustling down the line but not able to beat out the throw from Fredland at third base. And in steps the next pinch hitter, Julia Chipman. Chipman on the tournament, 1 for 5 with 1 RBI, 3 runs scored. She's reached base on a couple of walks, as the score is now 3-2 in favor of Saskatchewan over Newfoundland Labrador, with that solo home run from Russell earlier this inning. As my technician working beside me here, Brian, was off adjusting the cameras to the adjusting light level, so he wasn't here to make the adjustment on the scoreboard. That's why it took a little while for it to get up. I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm explaining that you were busy doing other stuff to make the broadcast look good. There's the first pitch to Chipman, and it's a called strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike here on Chipman as she's in pinch hitting. There's a ball out to right center, and it's going to drop in, and Chipman will hold for a long single. And again, we're seeing what this wind can do, sending balls deep out to center and right center. And Katie Penny, it appears, will bat for herself here. She's going to stay in the game in center field, it looks like. As she comes up with 1 on and 1 out here in the 6th. Runner going, throw down to second. And Penny ahead in the count, 1-0, as Chipman has stolen second. Chipman now represents the potential tying run with the score 3-2. And Johnson down in the count, 1-0. Swing and a miss, runner going, throw down to third. Not quite in time. So the potential tying run now just 80 feet away. Meanwhile, over in the game next door, Ontario batting in the bottom of the 3rd. That game moving much slower than ours is. There's a grounder to second. It ends up handcuffing momentarily, but the throw to first in time. What a recovery by Wilms. The run was going to come in and score regardless. It's now 3-3, but Wilms, a big recovery after that ball handcuffed her to start with to get the second out of the inning. That'll bring Megan Bennett up to the plate. And the first pitch to Bennett misses high, ball 1. So a tie ball game now, 3-3. 2 away, top of the 6th inning. Base is now empty. And a 1-1 count on Bennett. 74 pitches now for Johnson, so she's got 21 more to work with. That one popped foul over the backstop and out of play, so the count now 1-2. And if Amy Johnson can finish this 6th inning with this batter here and have 19 pitches to work with going into the 7th, depending on what her offense can do to support her, if, maybe. 2-2 now the count on Bennett. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 8 Ks for Amy Johnson, but a solo home run and then a single, a couple of steals, and an RBI for Penny driving in the game-tying run. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base through 5.5. It's 3-3 between Saskatchewan and Newfoundland Labrador. And stick around because we've got ourselves one heck of a finish coming up. It's going to be Comfort, Tarasoff, and Plain due up for Saskatchewan. As we take a quick look around, it is Julia Chipman coming in left field as expected. Bishop Frizzell does not go behind the plate. Bennett is still in left. Still Penny in center. First base still Russell. So it looks like Bishop Frizzell pinch hit, and then a defensive re-entry by Lockyer, it appears. Try and double check confirmation of that here in a moment. It is indeed Lockyer coming back into the game. So Chipman comes in right. Lockyer re-enters the game to be the catcher again. And no big surprise, Jada Lee, with 14 pitches left in her count, will start the bottom of the 6th. Kira Comfort will be the first one that she faces. Comfort hit by a pitch and came around to score, also struck out once. So 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. Takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. As that wind starts to shift a little bit more, now coming sort of across from right out to left center. There's a grounder. Gets past Russell out to right field for a leadoff single. And that'll bring up Caitlin Tarasoff. She's struck out twice so far, with the potential lead run now standing at first base and nobody out. Tarasoff stepping in. Here comes the first pitch to Tarasoff. That misses inside. Comfort bluffs as if to run, but actually that pitch was called a strike. Comfort bluffs as if to run, but holds off. As the lights have been turned on here at Joan Lenahan Field. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. No, we'll get a throw over to first, and Comfort just gets back in. Close play over there at first base. A great pickoff move by Lee. And a reminder again, this young lady just 13 years old. Runner going, swing and a miss. Throw down to second, not in time, as Comfort got a great jump, even though it was a very good slide step by Lee. But Tarasov now behind in the count 0-2. Meanwhile, Ontario scored one already here in the bottom of the third. Have the bases loaded as they continue to threaten. That one popped up and foul out beyond the road, and the count remains 0-2. Long look back at second. Now Lee's ready to deliver. And a perfect breaking ball for strike 3. 13 strikeouts for Jada Lee. And what else? Yeah, high five for Lee as the ball gets taken from her, as she had an absolutely stellar performance on the mound. And she will come out for Kayla Mizzou, who will take over. So Kayla Mizzou will come in to pitch for Newfoundland and Labrador here in a tie ball game. Bottom of the 6th inning. Runner on second and one away. And for Mizzou, this is her third appearance in this tournament. She's thrown 2 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. Both of the runs were earned. Nobody's walked on Mizzou, and she's struck out 6. She's also hit 1 batter. A whip under 1. When you look at those 2 hits and the 1-hit batsman over 2 2/3 innings. We're also going to see, actually, Jada Lee is going to stay in the game, and she's going to move to second base, it appears, as Maddie Healy has come out of the game. And Lee went and got a different glove and now is back out. So that means Mizzou will take Healy's spot in the batting order. And Lee, I believe, is moving from the pitcher's mound to second base. We'll again try and get that confirmed here in a second. As we look around and see who's going where. Still Dwyer at third, still Legg at short, and it is Lee now at second with Russell at first, the outfield remaining the same. So 5 1/3 innings of 3-run, 5-hit baseball. That one popped up, and Legg makes the catch for the second out. Lee is still responsible for the runner standing at second. And Mackenzie Fredland comes up with 2 away. Fredland 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts so far in this game. But again, let's run you through this line because this line is worth repeating. 5 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 13 strikeouts, and no walks. 1-hit batsman. Oh, and 1 walk, excuse me. 1 walk, 1-hit batsman. A great, great pitching performance by Lee, now playing second base. That pitch misses outside to Fredland. And Saskatchewan with the potential lead run standing at second here with 2 away, bottom of the 6th inning. Runner going as the ball does get past Lockyer, And Comfort now at third. So the potential lead run now just 80 feet away, but there are 2 away here in the 6th. So that makes this at bat for Fredland all the more important. That pitch misses. And the count now 3-0. Actually, no, that was ball 4, excuse me. So that puts runners at the corners for Callie Hebert. And, or are we going to get a pinch hitter here? It appears, yes, we are going to get a pinch hitter for Hebert. And it's either going to be Ziebert or Metzger, as those are the 2 players from the bench, and it is Ziebert. So Ziebert hits for Hebert. File that one under things you can't make up. Addie Ziebert coming in to pinch hit for Callie Hebert. And Hebert on the tournament 1 for 6 with an RBI, a run scored. She's reached base 3 other times, twice hit by pitch and once walked. So a 167 batting average and a 444 on base percentage. Comes up here with runners on first and third and 2 away. And you've got to figure that Fredland probably is going to be running on the first pitch. And there she goes. Pitch misses high. Throw to the back to the pitcher as Newfoundland and Labrador certainly made it look like they were throwing down to second. And Comfort nearly broke from third. And when the ball was intercepted by the pitcher and then a quick throw over to third, nearly a catching Comfort off the bat, too far off the bag. That one fouled off, and the count now 1-1 on Ziebert, with a potential go-ahead run standing at third, the potential insurance run standing at second, 2 away here, bottom of inning number 6. The pitch misses high, and it's now 2-1. Addie Ziebert standing in as the pinch hitter. That pitch misses high, and it's now 3-1. Out there pitching is Mizzou, facing her third batter since coming in. Mizzou looked like she slipped on her landing on that pitch, and it ended up out of the zone. That'll be a walk to load the bases. And that'll bring up Claudia Lammers. Lammers grounded out to short in the second, doubled and came around to score in the 5th, and has a chance to put a big stamp on this game. And the first pitch to her misses inside, ball 1. Bases loaded, 2 away in a tie ball game, bottom of the 6th. To say that this at-bat is pivotal is a statement of the obvious. That pitch misses outside, 2-0. The potential winning run standing at third base, or not necessarily winning, I should say, the potential lead run stands at third base. And there's a strike. It's now 2-1. Mizzou from the full windup. The lefty delivers. There's a ground ball right back to Mizzou. She'll get the play over at first for the third out of the inning. And we will go to the 7th, all tied up at 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The bases left loaded, and Newfoundland and Labrador will head to the top of the 7th inning with a chance to take the lead, Hannah Legg, Mackenzie Byrne, and Jada Lee due up in the top of inning number 7. And while the name of the game on this diamond in the last couple of games has been pitching duels, the name of the game on Robert Lenahan Field has been wild and crazy, highly offensive games, as Manitoba scored 7 in the top of the third to take a 9-2 lead. All Ontario did, they scored 6 in the bottom of the third to make it 9-8 and go, okay, sure, we'll play that way. And, of course, this falling on the heels of a wild 8-inning game in the semifinals between Nova Scotia and Alberta, while over here on our diamond, we had a close 5-1 game that was actually 2-1 going into the 7th between BC and Quebec in the semifinals. So the crazy thing is, it's the bigger field where you would think the defense has more room to work, that's had more offense. Here comes the leadoff hitter in this inning, Hannah Legg. Legg grounds it down to third, picked up by Fredlin, throw across in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that pitch number 78 for Amy Johnson. And now Kayla Mizzou actually comes into Burns' spot in the batting order. So that means Maddie Healy became the extra hitter when all of those other changes occurred. There's a strike to Mizzou. And the count 1-1. The pitch. Another one right on the corner. And it's 1-2. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Grounder to third. Fredland across the diamond in time. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up the star of the game for Newfoundland and Labrador, Jada Lee, with the solo home run and the 6 1/3 innings of absolutely lights out pitching. Takes that one high, ball 1. And with that being just pitch number 83, if we do have to go to an 8th inning, the way it's going right now, Johnson could very well have pitches left to work with in an 8th. 1-1 now, the count on Lee. That one just misses inside, and the count 2-1 as the breaking pitch did come back, but it didn't come back quite quickly enough. So 2-1, the count on Lee. That one to Fredland. Gathers it up across the diamond in time. 3 up, 3 grounders to Mackenzie Fredland at third, and 3 down in the bottom or the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning with the score tied 3-3. 86 pitches for Amy Johnson through 7 innings. So if Saskatchewan does not score here in the bottom of the 7th, Johnson could conceivably go out there and start the 8th for Saskatchewan. To say that I am in awe of our 2 starting pitchers in this game would not do it justice. This has been an absolutely phenomenal pitching performance by these 2 young ladies here this evening. So we get ready for the bottom of the 7th. Tie ball game. Saskatchewan needs to put a run across to win it, but they're going to have to do it against Mizzou, who has been through her 3 appearances now in the tournament, has been pitching phenomenally. It's going to be up to Wilms, Owens, and Johnson as Mizzou out there on the mound, ready to go, finishing up her warm-up pitches. There is 1 batter on the bench available to Saskatchewan if they choose to use Ava Metzger. She is available on the bench still. But Jacene Wilms, 0 for 2 on the day with 2 of the 13 strikeouts recorded by Lee. Wilms steps up to lead it off. Grounder to short. Gathered up. Leg throws across in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring up Lauren Owens. She popped out to third in the 3rd, walked in the 5th. Tie ball game, bottom of inning number 7. First pitch misses up and in, ball 1. If you're not enjoying this ball game, it's either because A, you don't like baseball, or B, you're too emotionally invested and it's driving you absolutely crazy. That pitch misses outside in the count 2-0. This has been such a well-played game by both of these teams. Meanwhile, over in the other game, Manitoba continues to lead Ontario 9-8. That one just misses in the count now 3-0. Mizzou in danger of putting the potential winning run on base, down in the count 3-0. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. It misses high, ball 4, and the potential winning run stands at first. And Amy Johnson comes up to the plate. Johnson with the solo home run back in the 3rd. How poetic would it be? I know fans of Newfoundland and Labrador wouldn't want to see it, but in the poetry of the game that is baseball, how poetic would it be if Johnson were to be able to deliver here as she sends that one out to center field, actually more towards right. It's right field. And the catch made by Chipman for out number 2, and that'll bring us back around to the top of the order, Jocelyn Arthur. The potential winning run still stands at first base, now 2 away. Arthur stands in. Here's the pitch. Grounder to short. Legg has a little trouble with it, throws it to second, and then throws it out into right field. And heading down to third is Owens. That puts runners on the corners as Arthur reaches on the error. Legg bobbled the ball a little bit, and now we're going to have Team Newfoundland and Labrador have a meeting out on the mound just to make sure, actually it's just going to be a meeting with the pitcher, just to make sure that she's calm. There are 2 away, so I'm sure the conversation is just focus on getting the batter, just focus on dealing with Kira Comfort. Don't worry about the fact that there are runners on first and third. Don't let any dancing around along the baselines distract you. Mazzeau versus Comfort. Potential winning run stands at third base. 2 away. Bottom of inning number 7. The winning team will play for 7th place tomorrow. The team that loses will play for 9th. First pitch misses low, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That misses, ball 2. Arthur will head down to second. The only thing that really does is take away a force play at second base, as her run is of no consequence. That one pulled foul and up out of play onto the top of the batting cage, just off to our right. And the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runners on second and third, 2 away. That one catches the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Batter number 2 in the second spot in the order, up to bat. And delivers a ball out off the fence. That will do it. Saskatchewan wins. The final score, 4-3. What a ball game as Kira Comfort sends a ball off the right field fence to drive in the game-winning run. The final score, 4-3 for Saskatchewan. What a game. A complete game, 7-inning victory for Amy Johnson on the mound. Kira Comfort with the game-winning RBI. And you can't help but feel for those young ladies from Newfoundland and Labrador. They put in an amazing, amazing effort to come up just short. And I think that's what the coach of Newfoundland and Labrador is saying right now, how proud he is of those young ladies for the game that they played, because they just put on an absolute wonderful performance, coming up just short against this Saskatchewan team. We'll stick around for the handshakes and the presentation of the players of the game. And if I have any say about it, which I don't, but I think everybody who's been watching this game knows who my picks would be for the players of the game, as Saskatchewan wins it 4-3. And if there is any justice in the world, the players of the game will be the 2 players that I have been singing the praises of all evening long. The game over on the other diamond is still going on, so if you want to watch more baseball after we wrap up, by all means, head on over to that other broadcast. And as it should be, the player of the game for Newfoundland and Labrador is Jada Lee. And as it should be, the player of the game for Saskatchewan is Amy Johnson. Those two ladies put on a pitching clinic for you here this evening. That's going to wrap it up for us on this diamond until tomorrow morning. Don't forget the other game's still going on, so head on next door and catch the finish of a great game between Manitoba and Ontario. The final score once